I have to react to another one of these. Just like my first video, tries to make a comparison between us and Kirk's assassination. Why is this a common topic now? Like, Jesus Christ.
About Tyler Robinson, the alleged assassin of Charlie Kirk. Here's the Republican governor of Utah, Spencer Cox. Take a look.
Well, some outlets are reporting that the suspect lived with a transgender partner. Is that accurate? And are investigators looking at this part of his life as a possible motivation?
Yes, definitely. And yes, I can confirm that. I know that has been reported and that the FBI has confirmed that as well, that the roommate was a romantic partner, a male transitioning to female. I can say that that he has been very cooperative. This partner has been incredibly cooperative, had no idea that this was happening.
Let me just say this real quick. You can have a roommate on complete opposite, or even a family member on complete opposite sides of the political spectrum. It doesn't make you that way.
And is working with investigators right now.
I'm Rich Lowry of National Review, and what we've learned so far adds to the overwhelming sense that this country has a deviant problem. Our culture, even our government, tolerates and even encourages bizarre obsessions.
4 months ago, Trump is the current administration. Trump would be the one you're blaming here.
And freakish subcultures.
Also, not to sound this way, but Trump isn't the issue on deviance. He's certainly a issue on many other things, but the country has been this way for years.
Robinson was reportedly dating his trans roommate, going through a so-called transition from male to female, and there are indications that both were into furry culture. Now, I'm not saying fury, not fury like this.
Six. Look at these two. I want all.
Certainly not fury like this.
600.
No, more like this or this. Furry culture involves people dressing up in animal costumes.
Yeah, there's... I'm trying to find evidence on the claim that he was gay, but the best I can find is a news article that's sketchy at best.
We're not thinking about the Oregon duck.
Hell yeah!
Now that guy, presumably at the end of the game, takes his costume off, goes home, and has a beer. In furry...
Yeah, well, you just described what most furries do. Like, pretty much the exact same thing.
Culture, we're talking about something that's much weirder, in some cases, even very dark. You have people whose identity, let's put a pin on that word because we're going to come back to it, is caught up in this animal persona. They take on a so-called fursona.
Most furries have what we call as a split personality. In the fandom, they're a completely different person to who they are outside of it. It's a real thing.
And take it quite literally. Check out this Jesse Waters interview from a while ago with a raccoon.
All right, David, how...
I fucking hate this interview. They did this fucking dude wrong. They decided to cut every single thing and just make it one-sided. They asked him a bunch of questions. A few of them actually got into the news clip, and all of it was extremely out of context.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
And what are you supposed to be dressed up as here?
Well, currently, I'm a raccoon.
And why are you dressed up as a raccoon?
Well, isn't it fun?
Sometimes there's a sexual element as well to the furry.
What was wrong about that? He just said it was fun. Like, out of all the things you could have clipped out of context in that interview, why that?
Subculture, which makes it even more disturbing. There are indications that Robinson might have had this interest himself. Certainly he was aware of it, and for evidence of that, you need look no further than the engravings on the bullet casings used in the assassination. Robinson allegedly engraved on one of the bullet casings the words, quote, "Notices bulge OWO, what's this, question mark."
That's things that aren't just explicitly in the fandom. Like, yeah, we may We may use terms like this, but it doesn't mean you are a part of the fandom if you use terms like this. Like correlation or causation.
Close quote. Now, for most of us, that's meaningless. For most of us, that is utter
Yeah, it very much is.
gibberish, but this has meaning in the furry culture and in the trans culture and in the extremely online culture. It refers to, say, flirting.
The fuck is the culture of the extremely online? Like, I didn't even know that was a culture.
To someone with someone you think is a cat, and then you notice a bulge, or flirting with someone you think is a woman, and then you notice
Flirting with someone you think is a woman. So a straight man can say this? Just like that, you disproved your own point that you're trying to say.
a bulge. The OWO denotes flirtation, and this was on the spent casing of the bullet that killed Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was killed with a bullet whose casing had a furry or trans meme on it. It's unbelievable. Robinson
No, it's not. It started outside the fandom.
allegedly engraved other anti-fascist and internet memes on other bullet casings. There's an
Oh yeah, quick fact. The assassin was a registered Republican.
element in which this hideous act was meant to be a joke to those who are in the know, was a nod and wink to other people in these subcultures, which just speaks to a profound.
A subculture is a culture within another community. That is not what the furry fandom is. There are subcultures in the fandom, but the fandom is not a subculture.
Soul-crushing nihilism at work here. It used to be that the mechanisms of our culture acculturated people into things like this. Or this. Now, there are obviously problems with those youth cultures too, but they weren't unfathomably perverse. And I think part of what has happened here is that we've reached the end of the line after our elite culture for decades denigrating the normal and celebrating the transgressive. And you can come up with all sorts of examples of this across all sorts of realms. If you just look at movies, 1970s, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, you have the mental patients who are portrayed as the rational ones who probably should be running the asylum. 2017, The Shape of the Water wins an Oscar. A woman has a sexual relationship with some sort of fish and is supposed to be a very great and moving and meaningful.
I have never heard of this movie. Like, the fuck?
Thing. We got to a place where we said, you can be any gender you want. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah, because it's a genetic thing. It isn't something you're made with. There is actually a syndrome where you can think you're in the wrong body, just like how being gay is a genetic predisposition. It comes with birth. It does not come it does not come with how you think. You are born with it.
Wrong with that? To the contrary, there's something praiseworthy about that. We are going to affirm your irrational beliefs about yourself and perhaps your psychological disorders. We're not going to tell your parents when you're quote unquote transitioning. We're going to pay for
That just doesn't happen at all. You need parents' permission before you can operate any form of surgery on a child. A child by itself legally cannot sign any documentation. And you need parents' explicit permission to do any form of surgery or operating procedure. You also need parents' permission before you can even prescribe anything to them.
for the medical care. We're going to say that anyone who says that there's something wrong or amiss with any of this is a hater who should shut up. And if you can choose your own gender, why can't you choose your own species too? And why wouldn't someone who hears these messages constantly reinforced conclude that Charlie Kirk is a direct threat to people's well-being? He's a hater. He's a fascist. He is prompting people to commit suicide. He has to be stopped. He has to be snuffed out. Look, America's always been a big place with a lot of unusual.
No, you didn't. That is... Okay, first off, and we're getting to this. Charlie Kirk. He shouldn't have been assassinated for what he did. I find his debate style to be bad. I didn't like Charlie, personally, because I feel like he debated people that didn't know what they were talking about, and he was scared to debate people, such as the man in my bottom right screen. But should he have been assassinated for making his First Amendment right known? No, he shouldn't have. No one should be shot over it.
People, right? Outcasts, dissidents, tinkerers, genius inventors, people who want to be left alone, people who want to be on the soapbox, people who want to worship their God in their own way. And that's fine. In fact,
Literally none of the things referenced is a leftist problem either. The assassin of Kirk was a registered Republican. The past 6 minutes, nothing on the left has even been said.
that's part of the glory of America. But this is different. This is something malign. This is something deeply corrupt that we've made cultural space for and actively encouraged. Why don't we hold up the normal kids for a change? Boy meets girl, boy and girl get married, boy and girl have kids. What's wrong with that? And that was...
You know, the number one reason for not having kids in modern day America is financial reasons. We're going to have a negative birth rate, and we have for a while. But getting onto this, genetic predispositions exist. You can be born to be gay. It is real.
was a huge part of Charlie Kirk's message, and this heinous act that shot him down in cold blood just emphasizes that message is more important than ever. I'm Rich Lowry, over and out.
Alright, well, that was an experience. Anyway, I better do.